I try to hold it together, keep it together. Not sure who I really am, just be cute and super bland. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Been playing it down, but I'm so getting tired. Now won't you meet high? 'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby, put the record on, baby, put the record on, hit it. And I've been needing that crazy, and I gotta let it go. So baby, put the record on, I'm not gonna need that song, hit it. Monday came and swept away all the fun of yesterdays. But I'm gonna hold it together, this ain't forever. Need a shot and then a beat, somewhere to let out some steam. I'm not the one to say never, never say never. Been playing it down, but I'm so getting tired. Now won't you meet high? 'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby, put the record on, baby, put the record on, hit it. And I've been needing that crazy, and I gotta let it go. So baby, put the record on, I'm not gonna need that song, hit it. Come with me. I'm gonna get this party lit. Come with me. Let's do something we'll regret.
Come with me. I'm gonna get this party lit. Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down.
Lovely grab. Wow.
More action here at the European Ultimate Championship 2023. Day 3 of the formalities, but day 2 of the real playtime. We have a women's showdown for you between the Netherlands and Poland. Myself, Hannah Penderbury, on the call this fine. Quite nice morning here in Limerick, certainly not the worst conditions we've seen, alongside Charlotte Terrason. Charlotte, how are you feeling about these two teams matching up?
Really happy. First to say, as you mentioned, that we have a nice morning again, which is really enjoyable here in Limerick. We're looking forward to have this morning game with Poland, Netherlands. What a game is going to start in front of us. I don't know much this team. We haven't seen them yet during this championship. I had a glance at Poland versus Italy, where Italy was definitely ruling this game. But let's see if maybe Poland is hungry for the win and will step up in front of Netherlands, who is also showing off some familiar faces, highlights players that we've seen in several clubs during this season already. Can't wait to see this fight.
Well, yes, we do know a couple more of the faces coming out for the Netherlands. Certainly, to say, some championship medals we've seen the teams in, but this first pull for the Polish, and it is indeed a familiar face, Ola Kulikowska. So a deep shot straight out the blocks to Flor Kularts, catches it with ease. Certainly the Polish are going to have to come up with a game plan for her deep cut. So it's a quick 1-2 to get the goal in. Justine van der Merle with the assist. And an easy goal for the Netherlands.
Easy goal, easy execution, beautiful execution. No surprise in this connection. We know it, the Minad Kularts, a typical one we're used to see also with Goed playing. Whether it is mixed or women, these two players definitely get this connection and know how to use it. What a beautiful performance. Nice, pretty first clean hold for Netherlands.
So the first on the board, relatively steady. So what would you do if you were, coaching a team with the likes of Flor Kularts on it? Because of course she's been known as a deep receiver for her entire career so far. But almost it feels like deceiver is the correct word, because she just seems to get that deep space no matter what you do for her.
Well, maybe try to put a zone or other kind of defense than person defense. If the no back, no out doesn't work, then go for a zone. Or try force middle, try to block also the hug itself, rather than the run.
Well, Paulina Dahl, one of the stars of the players, of course, playing with Guayote in Tenerife, but back with Poland, throws up a deep ball of her own, but it's snaffled by Anna Hofnagels. Van der Merle now goes across, nearly the flying bed from Salitra, which actually seems to cause a little bit of nerves. And a short field turn. Looking for options. Salitra, who got that pressure. Some sort of call on the field, perhaps a pick. So that one will return. Sara Doroba getting free in a curious fashion from Dania Lustelop-Knapp, who seems to be wearing trackies underneath her shorts.
As I like to call it, the Japanese style, shorts over the sweaters.
So underneath, threatening that inside flick break, but just resets. Up line, cut is there, Jasiak. Now, the Netherlands trying to pin to the goal line, and they do effectively the knock away from this long wingspan of Janne Jansen.
A lot to focus on this one. Very close to the line. She had to look at her feet and the disc at the same time. Couldn't manage to keep possession. Netherlands again with the disc for a break opportunity.
Jansen takes the reset. Xingyem. Nice bit of give-go action now, the far sideline for Lustelop-Knapp. Oh, that's a really nice idea, but the pressure from the defense is surely going to block it. Yes, indeed. What a fabulous box out.
Great to see that Poland also has some positioning in the deep zone. We've seen already Netherlands knowing how to box out and retrieve the disc on defense for hugs. Well, Poland has it too.
Well, the full stretch of the pitch to go as the Polish continue to hunt down their first point of this game. So looking for the up line. That one's going to be a little bit quirky, but streaking through Tataj, who got the block in the first place. So a sky ball again for the Polish. This time it's a big hustle underneath it coming through. And yeah. Oh, what a throw into the beautiful space on the far side of the field. Izabela Jasiak with the goal.
And here the first goal for Poland. Not an easy one. There were a couple of turnovers, but they did manage to get their hold. And it is 1-1 tight game for the beginning of this Netherlands facing Poland game in the lovely morning in Limerick. Let's have a replay on this catch. Really good positioning. Dragging the defense with her, but still getting that last step back to actually go where the disc is going and not simply following the other bodies.
Well, that point was largely about the redemptions of Antonina Tataj. Certainly that block on that deep shot was really excellent positioning, just held the line, was on the shoulder, and actually went, I think, from round the back shoulder, used the speed really effectively to get in front and make sure the disc stayed in Polish possession.
Indeed, Anna, it is good positioning and good pace that she had enough legs to speed up enough to go around the defense, the player offense.
Well, it's a relatively young Polish team, lots of players in their sort of early to mid-20s, a couple of teenagers also amongst the pack. But of course, you have the number 5, Anna Minar, who did an amazing job last week in the under-24s division, playing in the open team. We love to see it.
Breaking ankles in the open team.
Absolutely, ripping up the stats board. Any naysayers be damned. But back in the women's division, Janssen. Boss, of course, playing that anchor position in the centre of the handler set. Just popping through to get those extra little bit of yards. Where you see the Polish zone, Charlotte, they had the same idea as you, but they make a little bit of mincemeat of it. Franka Tenkart grabbing that goal in the backspace.
Really great use of the break side. No need to swing. Everything was thrown on the break side and just lasered to the end zone for another score. Another hold, clean hold again for Netherlands. 2-1.
Well, I don't expect there's going to be many opportunities for a break given by the Netherlands. Of course, they have, as we say, a lot of combined experience at these championship levels. They did have a change in their coaching personnel halfway through the season, which caused some interesting moments. So obviously then there was some, I do believe there were some invitations that were sent by the players to some people who hadn't been chosen for the original squad. But I'm quite liking the collection of players they have out on the field together. There's a lot of talent and a lot of athleticism, which, to be fair, when these discs are swirling up under the Limerick winds, is something you're going to need in spades.
I mean, I'm not very surprised of some faces on this team, like the obvious choices to me for some of them.
Well, lots of love, of course, to everyone that is part of the trials process for any national team. It is really just such an honour to be able to be amongst the pack, invited to potentially represent your country. As you see, Balina Dul with the disc. Moving across nicely in the backfield. Patra, who of course got that, as I said, beach championship medal, currently residing in Tenerife. On the far sideline, that number 35. You expect her to redeem the team when it's required. But just picking their moments here against the Netherlands zone. Nice high find over the top. Now off to the races now. Palmer centres back. Looking for the inside flick. Oh, that's a really interesting option, but I'm not sure the receiver was expecting it.
I really like their use of the high releases to get out of the cup, above the cup during this zone defense, but that one might have been the one too much, not necessarily necessary.
Well, it's a ripper straight away, but it's going to escape Susanna Slorp.
So Poland again with the chance to get their holds. Is there a goal? Not very surprised to see the strategy of Huck and Div on the Netherlands side after getting the disc on defense. I would kind of do the same, I think, with these receivers. Just try to huck it and make them work their way back to the end zone with the zone defending them.
Well, the Dutch sticking with this zone out in their orange jerseys today. Palmer coming underneath, popping back. Nice grind under from Tataj. And pops out. Got some dazzling undershorts as the number 20. But the timing not quite there when Patarul tried to look for it, but that's a lovely one through. Can they get the movement going now? Palmer with the backhand. Oh, and what a snag high. Just shy of the goal line. Dancing from the mark. Doroba dancing around the back, I think is the give go. There's a bit of pack of players.
Nice last little jump to get inbounds for the score. 2-2, still tied up again. Poland needed some turnovers before scoring. Not a clean hold, but still a hold. Do we have another look? Oh no, I really like the previous throw. I mean, this one's cool too. The jump and the last pass to finish off the point. Lovely. Nice, but I really like the previous pass before this replay where the thrower just managed to find a tiny window between the arms of both defenders' body running towards her throw's direction and still managed to get the disc one step away from the end zone for finally scoring for Poland. 2-2.
Well, holds across the board so far, with the Dutch perhaps being a little bit looser with the disc in terms of, requiring that first break on the board. They do have the natural advantage in this game. They started on offense, so if we just trade out here, they will take the win.
And do you think, Hannah, that Netherlands or Poland have better chance for a first break? Who do you think will be the first one to break?
I think at the moment you've got to say it's going to be the Netherlands. They haven't turned over on their O-line yet.
Totally agreed. With the clean holds, I'd rather say also that Netherlands would be more likely to break first, but we never know what can happen.
But then again, they've also had 3 opportunities to get a break and used absolutely none of them so far. So Bardot through to Minard. That one's going to be a little bit high, but well kept with the jump reach. Oh, and a cheeky flick across. I like that idea. Keeping the disc alive. Tenkat. But there is a run through block. Sviakot.
The first turn for Netherlands O-line.
Kulikovska plays her ultimate in the UK for London Masters. Ooh, a little bit too much bumping there. The foul is going to be called and is accepted, but that's going to possibly stand. Yeah, the retraction from Tenkata because the throw is blocked away well.
So apparently the O-line of Netherlands puts a lot of pressure because that is our first look at Poland's D-line offense. And they seem to struggle to get free.
Well, it's a similar story, I think, to the Netherlands, except defender on the shoulder. They are trying to look for that fast break with deep shots, especially shooting downfield. Tenkate is there. That's a very high, lofty disc from Floor Collarts. Has a think about maybe was that too much contact, but no. Anja Sverkot with the block. And a timeout being taken. Suda, I think that's wise. Get the Poles to settle themselves and maybe get the first break in this game here, Charlotte.
Totally agreed. I think it's a good call. Poland D-line needs to make sure, get their tactics set up.
All right, well, as they get themselves set, we will take a break here in the booth, but do not go anywhere. This game will continue. All clean holes so far, 2 apiece.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve.
Back in play here after that timeout being called by the Polish. They're going to overthrow, unfortunately, on the far sideline, trying to hit the Koshka. So, Paula Bus will get us back underway. Into Janssen. Oh, that one was very close. Floor Collarts taking lots of pressure. Inside to Tenkate. Anna Minard ripping it open in the cup, but going to be a little bit too far.
Yeah, very hard one to get from Minard, who gave it all, but the flying away disc is always hard to get. And Poland again with a break opportunity.
Kulikowska again opening up that arm cannon, again defense underneath it, but what a ripper! Our first break of score going to the Polish. And that is quite the reception. Is that the number 16 shirt there of Joanna Deboska? It looks like it.
What a grab. I hope we get that replayed. Really want us to have another look at this. Well, first the run, the throw, and the positioning in front of the player to keep it in bounds as well. Great job from Poland, who actually got the first break of the game. We're thinking more likely the Netherlands. Well, Poland proved us wrong and scored that first break. And what a way to get a first break in the game. 3-2, Poland with the advantage.
Well, they will be delighted. A very strong timeout, perhaps. There was that initial turnover, but the coverage of the person defense, that 1-to-1, is really paying dividends now. We said, you know, maybe the Polish should put in a zone, that first very, very easy, very quick hold for the Netherlands that only took 4 passes total. But they seem to have found a little bit of fire here.
They did, and actually we saw that they are also capable of defending the deep shots, so they don't necessarily need this zone if they have big bodies who know how to read, to jump, and to get this duty of covering the deep space done.
So the Netherlands looking to get a hold here, or else they might see the Polish run away with this game. Monka held on to it for a while, but back to Minard, now Tinkat. Van der Meulen. Franke Tinkat now, far side to Monka. This is all just easy resets. Clearly, the defense worried about the overhead, but that is such a lovely high release flick. Execution from Anna Minard, making the life of Justine van der Meulen very easy indeed, but that was classy throwing etiquette.
What a way to reach the break side. Wow, I mean, we've seen Minard in the handling a lot, touching a lot of this, making the flow go, but also getting the assist with fancy passes, whatever. Like we were talking about the toolbox yesterday, and she has also some moves in her toolbox. This high release sidearm, beautiful, perfectly put in the hands of the receiver.
So I have to give a small correction to myself. Of course, the number 35 for Poland is actually Batra or Balina Lewandowska these days, after her move to the Canary Islands. Apologies, Patra. We had a chat about that after, of course, she said she won that gold medal back with Guayota. But her heart, I believe, will always belong to Poland. So the captain of this Polish side in that central anchor space, Lewandowska. Now around, there is the deep shot, trying to find in the deep space, Schloss. And there it is, just over the goal line, into the bucket of Palmer. And that is just a gritty hold there. Clean for Poland, their first clean hold of this game. So it seems like the confidence is starting to develop, Charlotte, for this Polish women's side.
Yeah, I feel that they're finding their flow, they're finding the targets, how to use their bodies against the defense and place it themselves so that they get all these hugs completed, all the hugs completed, and really beautiful release as well. That was kind of a high, the release of this hug was pretty high. Look at this, over the arms and still getting very, very far. I always admire these releases. I don't know how to throw that far with a high release. It feels uncomfortable to put strength in the arm, but no problem for our thrower, number 22. Oh,
it's Julia Wsioszyńska.
Beautiful.
It's always tricky. The spelling for a normative English British speaker's brain is it's curious, but we love the challenge for learning about these different names and how they're said. But this is wonderful attack against the zone. You can hear the call to move to match defense from the sidelines. That one around for Minard. To Kullarts. Love those inside high releases. Whether it's a flick or backhand, it's clearly a throw of choice for the Dutch, especially the conditions very calm this morning. Certainly not the flustery flurry of wind we've seen on these showcase fields at times, but that's a lovely idea. Unfortunately, the throw is a little bit overcooked. Looks to be Bus trying to run that one down, but they've run out of gas.
While Poland is finding their flow, I feel that Netherlands is going the other way, that they seem to be already slowing down a little bit compared to the energy they had at the beginning of the game.
Well, undercuts grinding into pretty much the same pocket that they just started in. This is great coverage from the O-line of the Netherlands. Kulikowska calling for players underneath. Has Depovska. Oh, that's a really nice lead, and it just curves round, picked out by that left hand. Joshua Madesh. Oh, one thrown a little bit too risky though, and it's going to be taken away by
Higher
Clarence.
stall, not a lot of options. You gotta go with what you have.
So Coularts with the full pitch to go. First centering pass as Boss looking for that underneath. Oh, that one is thrown well behind Coularts though. Didn't have the time to adjust and send her momentum the opposite direction. Kulikowska looking for another break for the Polish women in this game, but that's again a little bit overcooked. When it's clean this game, but when it's, and there's one turnover, it seems that many more follow at this back. Minard to Moncau. Lovely swinging across. Coularts does have Bus there, and it's going to take the option though over the top to Isa Moncau. She runs it down, but unfortunately again, the Dutch not connecting.
I feel I'm gonna repeat myself. If you watched yesterday's game of the Netherlands Open, but I think that Netherlands should avoid this overthrowing. I mean, obviously that's not what they try to do, but they should rather try to put him more floaty, because Netherlands have good jumpers, good skiers, and it's easier maybe for them to reach those discs rather than overthrowing ones that you have to lay out for, and maybe that would increase their chances to score.
Well, there's a big old Dutch poach in the centre there. But Polish happy to play through it, choosing their options. Shachmadej inside, foul call off the disc, so that one might just reset.
Intense defense, a lot of contact, apparently a bit too much for the players, not happy with the outcome of this cut. Kulikowska looking for the upline.
So it looks like there might be maybe a cheeky arm bar. Of course, not allowed in ultimate. It's a natural reaction to sort of put your arm up and try and defend your own space, but the disc will stay in Polish hands. And with the thrower, Adriana Suda. And of course, as always, we do have some Dutch love in our live chat, but whichever side you're rooting for, please do let us know where you're tuning in from and how you're feeling this fine morning. Or whatever time you're riding, you know, feel free to thumbs up, like, subscribe, do all the things. You know what to do, folks. So, smooth moves, swinging to the far side, back in Kulikowska's hands. She's launched a couple of rockets so far this game. Will she be tempted into another? Oh, you could see the way Flora Coularts was trying to set up her defensive block. High one, into the end zone, but what a grind underneath just to make sure the possession is retained. Doesn't think about the scoring zone, and that's a lovely lead pass, and oh my goodness, a second break for the Polish women against the Netherlands.
A second one, and Depovska really put herself for this one. I mean, she attacked every disc, managed to get that short one, and what a nice gate for the whole team with this assist and goal players. Look at Depovska after her nice catch, also going for the goal of all over the places in the end zone. She really puts the energy needed to the break for the second break of Poland, and there is a timeout called.
Well,
probably by Netherlands.
Well, probably, yeah. You do need to definitely reset yourself if you're the Dutch right now. Joanna Depovska, started playing because she was a volunteer at the World Games in Wrocław, and she saw ultimate Frisbee there for the first time, and she thought it was a beautiful sport, and that's why she's playing. I think she plays pretty beautifully herself, the 27-year-old from, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Debica. But she's a user experience designer by trade, and I think the experience she's giving us as commentators out here on the field is a very enjoyable one. I really appreciated that grind, that sort of, looser disc that she really came underneath for. Didn't think at all about trying to get it in the end zone, just thought about possession, thought about besting her matchup. But we're going to take a very, very brief break here in the booth. We'll be right back with the rest of this first half.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
First half, absolute scenes here in the women's division. We have the Polish women, 2 breaks up over the Netherlands, who are punditry ahead of the tournament, Charlotte. Thought would do very well in this division, but at the moment, it seems like they're having some issues.
Yes, I mean, the first points, they had clean holds, both offenses, no turnover, nothing, and we're expecting them to be the ones breaking, and surprisingly, Poland actually is the one breaking, and not only once, but twice, 5-3. Netherlands just seem not to be able to conclude their hugs, their tactics, whatever plays they are planning. Something is not working, maybe due to wind, even though there are players who used to play with wind normally. Maybe the focus, the first turnover, there can be so many things, but maybe that's timeout now. Help them, and let's see now what's happening.
So a nice lead pass through the pack to Anna Minar. Looking for those give-goes. But the adjustment now from the defense is really just trying to close off the underneath space. Mionkau coming in for the back, but stolen by Franka Turkat. Maybe a little bit more communication, folks. Let's do note who's going to get it. Mionkau coming underneath. Marszalek on the mark there for Mionkau. Far side. It's Bardurl. Just keeping on grinding this point out are the Netherlands. Minard with the layout, just to secure possession, making that high difficulty look so calm and smooth. Doesn't go for the dish immediately, chooses the break around, boss underneath it, they go high. Kalert trying to make it work in the end zone, comes out. Has Minard, a stumbling mark, opened up a window for a moment and throws the inside to Isa Mionkau. It's a clean hold for the Netherlands. When they've been broken, they've turned the disc though over, sorry, this O-line for the Dutch. They have not got it back.
That might be the timeout tactic, the plan they had. I think, like of what we've just seen on this offense, that the plan was to play conservative, no 50% shots. You go for the open, available player and nothing too much. And that worked out. They have the legs to run, to get free. And we see also, I really like Franka Tenkate's intensity. She put the energy, even ripped the disc out of the hands of her own teammate, Franka, who got the cut afterward. No worries, she has the disc as well. But really nice patience and just play on the free players. Even though we had a nice last shot by Collards, a nice outside break sidearm, very fancy one to reach. Who scored? Moncao for the goal. So clean hold, and again, let's see if they will get a break on their own.
Well, they do desperately need one. It's all about patience so far in this game. Of course, the Polish women have only had the one clean hold so far. The Dutch, when they've been good, have been having about 2 minute points, sorry. That last one took 4 though for that clean hold. It's sky ball going up, great pressure underneath it, nearly the scoop redemption from Katarzyna Palmer. But not to be, so picking up, looking for the break. Bos starting us off. Krulem. The Dutch just throwing continuous inside flick breaks. That one easy pickings for Justine van der Meulen. Takes that big around, opens up the window in front. Slorp to van der Meulen. Oh, and just an easy one into the palm. You can see the risk there taken. Susanna Slorp with the excellent reactions. I'm not sure she was expecting that, looked by their body language.
Was that a cut, or was she just running towards the end zone and got a Frisbee in her way accidentally? That was a bit weird, but whatever works. No, she was looking at it, but whatever works, works. Very close to the defense, who was also running that direction, but Netherlands managed to get their first break to tie up the game 5-5, even though Poland still keeps the advantage.
Well, and certainly in Probe, whoever that is, watching from Germany right now, is going to be very happy for the Polish women to keep their current break advantage in this game, watching from Germany. Of course, there is no betting on these games formally. Certainly none from our booth. We're very, very neutral. Just want the best Frisbee to win. And it would be a tight and close and intense game. No one likes a blowout. I'll tell you what, there's some good vibes coming from field behind us, our other showcase field.
I'm wondering what they're betting, if not money, if we could know what your betting is based on, because 50 participants, I really like to know.
It's just pride, mate, definitely pride and bragging rights. The most valuable things of all. But at the moment, Schloss looking for options, and that one is going to escape the hands of the captain, the number 22, Julia Foszinska. So another opportunity for a break here. Some players coming across. Boss throwing something absolutely visionary.
No way.
I tell you what, our marquee had completely blocked my view of, I think, the intended target there.
That flew centimeters away from the head of the defender. That could have been a head block.
Yeah, head blocks not to be advised. That's how you get some shiny black eyes. But Anna Grufnagels having a go at that one. Of course, was also playing on the women's team for the Netherlands back in Jur in 2019. There's the layout snag. Oh my goodness, what a play. Anja Scholz getting big for the Polish team once again. But that looked to be a hand block to me. Justine van der Meulen now tracking that one down. Does have Hoofdnagels into Lusteloknap as the Polish defenders recover their position. Looks for the up line to Boss. Thinks about that cheeky inside flick again, but we'll just have an easy lead through running Tess van Middelaar.
And Netherlands in their momentum. What a nice candle. Showing those abs are working. The core is activated. And Netherlands with another break. Taking the lead. Now they're taking this lead back that they had at the beginning of the game. 6-5. Since they're going to start in defense the second half, they better keep the advantage. I think the timeout did them really good, and that is also what Poland is doing, calling a timeout on their own.
Well, as the players take a brief breather on the pitch, we will also do the same in the booth. Don't go anywhere though. This first half will conclude after these messages. Such beautiful views. Who needs audio? The Polish currently trailing back by 1 after 2 breaks. 1 in a row by the Netherlands side. They've cleaned it up and are looking in much better form than the midsection of this half where they conceded those 2 breaks. So readying for the pull, Elisa Bors.
Big pull staying in bounds.
That's brilliant form. Bors will be happy with that one. Lewandowska putting a beautiful sailing backhand up line. That one might be less, but well kept by Tataj. Oh, but that one comes out a little bit squeaky as well. Polish have to really think about their throwing form, because that seems to be the difference maker for them at this juncture. Boss looking for options upfield. No mark, so happy to just hold on to it. Has Van der Meulen now. Again, patience. The better virtue. Born of our side. Oh, that's really nice idea, but can it be clutched in just at the back cone? Well, I'll tell you what, it looked bad from our angle, but Justine van der Meulen stays with it and gets 7-5. Another break off score. That's 4 on the bounce for the Netherlands. Well, talk about a way to respond for going down 2 breaks, Charlotte.
I mean, they really found their momentum. It is back and they're here. Focus, the mental strength is here, and applying all the athleticism they can to keep these discs in bounds, as we've seen very nice moves everywhere in Netherlands on fire. They won that win. They scored 4 in a row, as you say. What a way to take the lead, to take the presence on the game, to be the one leading the game. I mean, Poland is still fighting, but I feel that their O-line is losing that move, that flow. They got this confidence they had.
Well, they're still throwing with confidence. It's just that they're, they're not quite throwing as cleanly as they were sort of in the midsection of this first half. We saw the redemption from Antonina Tataj, and then that one that just went behind, I think it was Palmer. But either way, they just have to settle themselves a little bit more here. Just go out and execute. Bit of teammate action. Chapska Carvajal just making sure everyone knows that the disc went out. Be brought into play by Julia Foshinska at the break mark. Got some pumping techno beats behind us. Wonderful to be at this European Ultimate Championships. Getting the vibe, but that was not a vibe I like to see. Ola Marshalek, unfortunately, miscued with her captain. So this for 5 on the trot to take the first half. Lustula Knapp looking for Minard. Around Hofnagels. Klertz now just waiting for her moment. Puts that one up, a lead pass and a layout redemption, but it's out of bounds.
I really thought and hoped it would be in bounds, not especially to be for Netherlands, but just this action is so beautiful. The layout with the feet trying to stay in bounds for the tiptoe, and not enough.
Well, it looked cool. And it was on the live stream, so it counts.
It is.
Unfortunately, it does not count for a score.
That was the halftime disc for Netherlands. Are they gonna retrieve it? There, Poland is in danger zone.
They are indeed in the danger zone, and just did not quite. I spoke about making eye contact with a thrower before you released the disc, but I think Marshalek had been on the floor for a little while when that disc was thrown. Just that trust from Foshinska. So Klertz with the disc thrown directly behind her. This is becoming a bit messy.
I think Mina was really looking forward to score with her favorite receiver, Klertz, but maybe didn't think about the win too much.
Well, both teams taking a leaf out of each other's strategy books, but it seems to be. Oh, there you go. That's more like it. Flo Klertz picking off that one. That's a bit low, but throws a low again. This is like a cursed corner. Like, just get it out of there. Yeah, that's a nice idea. I like that. Foshinska just saying, not the best release, but just getting it out of danger.
Thank you. I wanted to see a swing.
Well, that one may well be picked off by the defense. It is indeed. What a lovely block underneath it. Pamela Salitra has been getting blocks all across the board so far.
How many turnovers? That everything is so rushed. They keep going. I mean, turning over the disc, and another turn in front of the end zone again. Netherlands has the disc for the half. Are they gonna take a deep breath, and play?
Anna Minard thinks about that inside, but again throws that textbook around, and at long last that point finds its conclusion, as does this half. 8-5 the score for the Netherlands, but that was a grinder, Charlotte.
A lot happened, a lot, but Netherlands finished their first half the same way they started it. Minard to Klertz. What a surprise. Functioning duo, as we know. And they know it, use it. Let's have a replay on Klertz defense. And unfortunately too low for this one. Even with the extended body to try to reach the disc to the floor. Just not enough. And Netherlands takes the half.
8-5 indeed. I've just stepped out of our booth. I'm still wearing my headset. I don't know, we've had a question as to the conditions out here on the fields this fine Irish morning. I can feel a little bit of light drizzle that's just kind of emerging, but actually the wind condition is not too bad. It's what we'd call probably a thrower's breeze. But hello and also good evening to our Aussies in the chat. Hello John Greenfield and AD. Glad to have you with us, folks, but we're going to take, as we see the rest of those highlights for this first half, a break here in the booth, but the conclusion of this game, I'm sure we'll see perhaps another change of momentum. Charlotte keeps us interesting. We'll be back with the second half. But currently the Netherlands leading 8-5 over Poland.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Half time here, the European Ultimate Championships 2023, and we are furiously typing here in our booth, but we've been enjoying this game. It has to be said, Charlotte, considering the number of turnovers in that last possession, the wind is not that bad. We got out of our booth during the half time and had a little sort of, wander around, kind of a feel for it. I played on these fields myself last year at the World Masters Championships. It's quite a calm day in Limerick, so I think maybe mentality more than anything else.
It is, it is. I totally agree with you. The wind is not that strong. We can see the flags. They're not flying, blown by the wind so strongly. No, I think it's all mentality, as you say. It's just that they were rushing the disc. They're in front of the end zone. You're 2 steps away from the end zone. You want to score, obviously, but they trust each other, they know each other, and I love this. But the problem is in this rushing, maybe it's not the best option, maybe not the best throw, as you could release it if you took like 1 more second to think. Maybe the option won't be available anymore, but you will have other ones, and I think that is what Netherlands need to think about, is take a deep breath, because here luckily they retrieved the disc and they also work for it, obviously putting the intensity in defense as well, but disc is gold. Don't lose it that much. Here they're lucky that there were a lot of turnovers also on the other side, but you might not be lucky like that against other teams. Again, luck is not the right word, but you get what I mean.
Oh no, it's I completely think luck is the justified word. Obviously you make your own luck, but it's the idea of, if you're giving away the disc when you have possession, I'm with you. You have to really treasure it. You have to really, be mindful of like, all right, my teammate worked really hard to go and get that block. They did everything right. So it's my responsibility now to make sure that we retain position, especially when it's a recovery point for an O-line.
And I mean, you have time to swing it. You have dump swings. They are able to do it. They showed us they can do it easily. So just do that. Take 2-3 passes more, maybe that will open also other cuts from the stack and give you easier options.
Well, talking about the other teams that these opponents might face later on in the championship, some score updates for you in this women's division. On the other stream field, if you want to watch some Czech Republic and Spain as well as this game, dual device action. Current score is 9-7 to the Czech Republic. Women's division for Sweden versus Ireland, 9-8, another close game for the Swedish women. Of course, also in this Pool H. And over in Pool E, we've got Austria versus Germany, 10-6, the current lead for the team. Currently favourites to win this championship.
So don't forget to stay tuned and follow the championship until the end of this week on ULTI.TV.
Indeed, free to watch live and on demand. And a big shout out to you if you are indeed watching us on demand. Marszalek around to Kulikowska. Lots of powerful throwers on this line. Marszalek, of course, with the double glove. Oh, but throws into the poach that was waiting, sneaking away with it. A fast break coming into the second half for the Netherlands.
The cheer, I always love nice teammates cheering. What a cold defense. Smacked the disc to the ground and went straight to the end zone for the bookend. Scoring and defending, number 7, Tekla Amborg, just putting some more stats on her own name.
Well, a block and a goal to get her stats line started is pretty nice. I think it was just one of those, again, it's the ponies seem to be throwing these ones, so they're just, yeah, although my teammate's definitely open right now. She's always open. When I play with her, I get that throw all the time. But just snaffled away. A good aggressive line there as well from Tekla Eggenborg. Just really coming in rather than trying to follow and play the receiver, coming in and playing the disc. So that is now 6 unanswered scores for the Dutch women.
And Dutch starting the second half with a break just to make sure they are the ones scoring every first point of every half. And that is, as you say, already 6 points in a row. Yeah, 9-5. Poland really need to be back mentally. I really think it's all a mental game now.
Absolutely. Well, Schosch has been doing damage as she finds the number 20, but that one's going to overshoot again. A second throwing area error for Antonina Tatai, who has been so good in the early stages of this game, but maybe needs to just resettle herself a little bit. But Minard inside to QT. Loose to look now on the far sideline. Nice movement around from Minard. Tell you what, she doesn't look like she's had a moment of tiredness, even though she pulled a full championship, world championship play last week, as we already mentioned. Hoofnagels, holsters, and throws inside to Justine van der Meulen, who rips the disc and puts it close to her chest. 9.
And that is one more 7 in a row. Oh, I mean, this is unstoppable. This flow, I don't know what they could do. I mean, as we say, it is mental. They have to get back in the game. I'm talking about Poland, obviously, who has to really retrieve their flow, their confidence. As a coach, what could a coach do for a team in this situation, Hannah? What would you do?
At the moment, it really is just about your throwing errors. You know, the connections, the timing of the cuts is very good. So you take the positive, right? Our timing is good. We are finding the right spaces. At the moment, it's just a case of there are moments where we're not having our eyes fully open as the thrower. Maybe we're not seeing that somebody's had a stumble. We're not kind of like taking that extra moment to hold the disc, to set ourselves correctly. So I'd say, you know, maybe if you're one of those people that's had some throwing errors, get yourself on the sideline, throw with a partner, you know, just get yourself a couple of reps, get yourself steadied, whatever it is that you need to do as a player, because I think the mental game is all about knowing yourself as an athlete. And of course, a lot of teams do that, put the time in these days to figure out what makes their players tick.
Play at your own pace and don't rush it.
Lovely swing across to Foshinska. Now, Lewandowska. That's the right idea, moving forward with the disc. Trying to gain some yards. A little button hooking, but nobody really attacking the underneath space. There's obviously that 3-person cup allowing person coverage more or less in the deep space. That one, an easy find for Popek. Well, this seems much more settled. Popek again popping over the top. Lewandowska. Oh, what a silky smooth release. She might run out of air. No, it's taken away by the defender. A nice idea, but a little bit too much to hang on it, and Emborg capitalizes. Well, this looks very reminiscent of the ways that the Dutch tried to get their breaks in the early stages, and that one also does not come off.
Again, another thrown hug. Aiming for higher would be easier for Netherlands, but Tekla on her side, Emborg got another block for her stats, second defense for the Dutch player. And something is called on the pitch, but
I think equipment, an extension of the stoppage just to allow, I think, Tatai to do her shoelaces up. Nice find. Can they make the jailbreak work? Doroba really working hard in that underneath space. She is available up line, but Rashmade looking only for the reset. Lewandowska now. Swinging across. Popek with a nice one for Doroba. Doroba, sorry. Oh, that's a really lovely find, and at long last, the Polish stop the run of breaks for the Netherlands. 10-5. Now the score. No, so 10-6.
it's interesting because I do not think that Poland especially plays better against a zone. But the fact that they had to play against a zone made them think more. As you were saying, you have to take a few seconds more, maybe 1 or 2, before throwing that disc. Like, is there someone around? Is there a poach? Is there like... And think about space and not just individuals. And that made them focus more on every decision they made and just reach the end zone for the score, as they can do. So you had a good perspective, Hannah, and definitely Poland needs to just take a breath when they had the disc.
Would you say, I think that zone look really sort of allows them to do that, you know? They're not suddenly pushing against the defenders. I think there was obviously some really lovely execution of those over-the-top shots, which is what the zone is trying to bait. I mean, amazing work from Natalia Popek, just kind of being in those wing spaces, just close enough to the disc to make it not too difficult a shot. Of course, as we've mentioned, the flags might look very crazy, the European Ultimate flags, the Ultimate Federation flags that you sort of see on the corners of the pitches out here, but our sort of flags of nations do show it's quite a gentle breeze out there, and the biggest thing is it is consistent today. We're not seeing those gusts up that cause the real swirls. It is generally just very contained. But that is not contained at all. It's a beautiful shot from Anna Minar that rips open it up. But again, an error on the front line of the end zone. Moncau throwing it too far for Tinkat.
Again, that is rushed. Very weird decision, weird execution, I'd say. Probably not how she expected it to fly. She wanted a bladey fast throw, but behind the player, that was not necessary. I think the hawk was very nice. She got it perfectly, the read, everything, and now it's defense time then for them. And it is done already.
Well, having finally been denied a score, clearly the Netherlands are fired up to play that defense, get it back. Minard, lovely around. Bardul. Just releases high over the buck shoulder of the mark. that sold Marcellek super hard, that fake from Jana Janssen. She gets it now to Minard. Not quite the separation on the break side that she'd like. Oh, but that's a lovely, again, high release flick from Anna Minard. I could watch a highlight reel just of her execution of those throws.
That was so good. Again, this high release sidearm and 2 color arts. Obviously, I have to say, I didn't see color arts at first. I thought that shot was for the Netherlands player behind. And Just got surprised to see Floor Collards run through and get the score. And 11-6. Netherlands still in their flow.
Yes, indeed, Charlotte. They are having a good time out here. It looked very shaky, the midsection of the first half, where the Polish ground out those 2 breaks of score, which required 3 turnovers to be generated by the Polish from the O-line of the Netherlands. But they figured it out. That one, they did have to get 1 block back. In fact, I think, looking at our stats board, Charlotte, that is the first time in this entire game that you've seen a turnover from the Dutch women on their offense, and they've actually gotten the disc back. So it's the first recovered point for the O-line this entire game.
And what a fast recovery. It took an instant for Collards to just step in the way and take the disc back for her teammates and herself.
Lewandowska bringing us into the break mark with the out-of-bounds pull. Oh, and the rain is starting to arrive. Just shuffle in our electronics in our booth as the players grind underneath spaces. Doroba. Around. Schlott. This is good flow up the sideline. Just nice and easy, does it. Squeaks out the reset. Oh, that's a lovely inside throw from the captain. Lewandowska seeking options. It's a high release flick, slightly quirky, but there is the 1-2 into the end zone, and they just about keep control of it. But a clean hold for the Polish.
I really like these surprise scores when you end up scoring and we're not expecting it, like, oh, there's a disc in my hands. Oh, I'm in the end zone. It's pretty fun, but good for the Polish. 7-11. We hear it echoing in our minds. Good one with the wind rising now and rain arriving. Limerick is waking up now. We'll get a real Limerick weather pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed this sun, morning sun, because it's not lasting.
Indeed, it was, well, you know, it's rolling in. I think we've got the Open Division coming up next, so perhaps trying to get that one a little bit hairy, scary, helter-skelter type affair. On this field in front of us, we will have Spain versus Ireland next up on the live stream, and on field 10 behind us, Austria versus France. Bit of a score update for you on our other sister live stream. The Czech Republic currently 12-8 over the Spanish women. So all Eastern Bloc love. But 11-7 the current score line, so very close to it for the Netherlands over this Polish women's side. Bas through to Collards. Sort of pinning on this near side are the handlers of the Dutch. Moncal coming under. Again, 2 orange shirts, this time a bit better communicated, but a visionary shot from the paws of Anna Minard, and that is a glorious goal. Jette Bardul bringing him.
Amazing goal. I didn't even see it was already in. 2 Polish bodies present, but the shot was just overflowing them to reach the Dutch player. Beautiful put by Minard on this one. Not surprising, running everywhere, giving and going to give that final shot for the score. Clean hold again for Dutch players. Only 6 passes.
Well, that's 4 assists so far in this game for Anna Minard. Of course, only 21 years old. Been playing since her early teen years, though. course, part of that, you know, just only slightly Frisbee famous Dutch mixed side. Gut.
Who?
Gut.
Who are
Who it is?
Never
Who it
heard
is?
about them. No, no.
Only played, you know, in the showcase game at the World Club Championships back in 2018. They were unlucky, I think, last season. They had a really difficult draw. I think the only opponents that really kind of gave them too much trouble were the team that obviously defeated them in the championship bracket, which I believe was Seattle Mixtape, if my memory serves, but I might be wrong on that one. But the Polish currently looking to try and gain some more points back in this just for the hold. Lewandowska swinging across to Fuszinska. Oh, that's a nice flat backhand. Good movement and flow. The energy and pace. Oh, and that is quite the biscuit. But it's going to be again taken away by the defense. So many of these throws that have looked silky smooth for the hucks of the Polish have been thrown, unfortunately, to where the defenders are.
I mean, a lot of bodies were running over there, not only white shirts. It was a risky choice. You know that this was likely to happen.
Kulan on the inside. Oh, goes for the one-handed catch, and you can see the body language immediately. The hands go up to the face for Tekla Emborg. And a timeout being called by Patra Lewandowska. So I think that's a wise choice here, Charlotte, don't you?
I do think, yeah, they need to really stay steady, and they're playing against a zone again where they have to take time and not make rush decisions. No 50-50 hugs as we've seen, but more keep their flow as they did previously against the zone, which worked perfectly.
Well, as the players on the pitch try and figure out what's next, we will bring you the closing scenes of this game. Don't go anywhere. With the Netherlands currently leading 12-7, can the Polish bring it back?
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Second half scenes here. The European Ultimate Championships 2023 Women's Division. The Netherlands currently leading 12-7 over Poland. Charlotte, we've seen some much better execution of throws in this point, but it just seems like the vision isn't quite on.
I think they were flowing pretty well. It's just the hawking decision that is not the best one, due first to the wind. I know that this is the pressure that the zone is giving, that you have people open in the deep zone, but it is a very risky throw. I mean, here there even were defenders as well. So definitely just keep the fast throws. They know how to do the fast, short throws, I mean, finding the holes in the zone, and just keep the disc moving as we're seeing now on our cameras.
Well, they're clearly trying to pin to this near sideline, going against the breeze. Oh, what perfect footwork that was. Anja Scholz has been almost perfect so far in this matchup. The round break. Lewandowska throws a beautiful inside break. That one might be taken out of contention though. Again, a loose release, this time Sara Doroba.
Again, rush decision with weird throws that are not necessary.
Well, holding on to that one for a really long time and then firing through the center of the stack. Ingeborg working with Justine van der Meulen. A light foul call in the center of the stack. So it looks to be retracted after a bit of discussion. But the disc will stay with Justine van der Meulen.
Van der Meulen, who's having really good stats. We have a look, 3 goals, 2 assists and 1 block.
Well, she's currently having a great season, of course, because she's nearly at the number on age that's on her shirt. Which is always a fun thing to happen. But she gets that score on the front goal to add to her stats tally. That is now 4 goals, 2 assists and 1 big old block. Justine van der Meulen, of course, hailing from Utrecht. Works with children with developmental language disorders. So just a real standout gal.
That is some good work and background. And apparently her sporting hero is Irene Schouten, a Dutch Olympic speed skater, for the mental and physical strength, and also being honest on her interviews, showing what a human is, I guess, and not being a superhero but rather a hero, because then you inspire much more to realize it is normal, everything. And she's being probably also some other people's hero, playing so well on the Dutch women national team. Great stats, as we're saying. Just completed her 4th goal.
Well, she's been playing for the Dutch women's team since 2015, so an 8-year career at this national level, or international level, of course, representing her national side, of course. Got that silver medal last year at the inaugural European Indoor Championships. She also loves playing beach, so clearly it's working out well for her, because if you can run on beach, running on grass is significantly easier.
It's different, but definitely asks less for the muscle.
It's harder on the joints, but less effort required. See that run down on the far sideline. What a beautiful inside laser that was. You haven't seen much of Agata Strasotska-Rudy, but that was not rude at all. That was beautiful.
That's a really nice flow, as we've seen for some points of the Polish team, and really nice to see it again, having their flow, showing how the Polish game goes. Efficient, finding the free players, getting free, and having these lovely big pass gainers. What a flow. The Dutch defense just cannot keep up, and what a inside in this tight window. Great put for the Polish, who are now at 8-13. Still need a lot of points to catch up this big advantage the Dutch players took earlier in the game.
Well, and they did play good defense, during that kind of 7-point stretch for the Dutch women. Certainly that last point before half-time, where there were 4 turnovers for the Dutch, and of course, unfortunately, 5 for the Polish, which was why they ended up not getting that final point to keep the first half alive. 8-5, that was taken. And then the 2 breaks to start the second half, and 1 more in the previous point. So 13-8, 2 points left for the Dutch to take the victory here.
Very close to win the game.
Indeed, the other for show pitch behind us is also got a bit of air in the scoreline. 13-10 currently, Czech Republic over Spain. So comebacks required on both of our showcase fields here as the sun emerges here at the European Ultimate Championships 2023 in sunny Limerick. Boss. seeking options. Slinky, smooth backhand to penetrate through the cup of the Polish zone. Now into Klurtz. Janssen. Just smooth hold, the disc action. Boss currently working sort of behind the cup, but coming through now. It swung towards this near sideline. Bardol.
They don't seem to be getting out of this half of the field. The Dutch players stick there. I don't know if that is the Polish pressure, but they made it to the other side as I'm talking. Thank you.
It's like they know what you're saying and criticizing them a little bit of it.
You want to go to the other side? Okay, here you are. And the score is on the other side as well.
Indeed, just coming underneath for an easy one. I think that's Tenkata with the 14th goal of the game. So match point number 1 of many.
14-8, 1 score away for the win on this game against Poland. Let's see if they're gonna put the pressure and willing to end it as soon as possible and score with a break, or is Poland still gonna give them some hard work and give us some beautiful flow as they did on the previous point?
Well, to give you some score updates across this women's division live, of course, the European Ultimate Federation got their schedule site out on ULTI Organizer. 15-9, a full wrap-up for the Germans over Austria, but they're on the field behind us cameras. You can maybe just catch it in the back of the shot. It's 14-13, Sweden currently leading by 1 over Ireland, and Ireland about to start on offense. So things really tight here at the top of the women's division. Of course, it's what we want to see, a good championship, because of course the initial games were mostly sort of like a reseeding function. This is all about emerging out into the right power pool section in these pool stages now. But the Dutch looking to get this game closed up on defense. It's a roller pull. Oh, I like that as an idea. So Universe on the far side. Good spot from Charlotte.
And the sun is back. Sunny Limerick. Amazing for the Universe point on the Swedish-Irish pitch, but also here for a very tight zone defense by the Netherlands.
Marcellek with a feisty fake into Lewandowska. Of course, the Universe pitch on the far side of our cameras. It is the Swedes that will start on offense, but that's going to be maybe taken away. No, just about reaches over the hand bobble of the mark of this big cup. Marcellek into the front corner, and that will be a nice hold. Now, can the Polish women do anything to create some topsy-turviness in the late stages of this game? Just the 1 point required. Is it going to be a similar scoreline to that of the Germany-Austria game?
It looks likely to me, but I want to say that I really like, as we were saying earlier, that they needed to focus to take that 1 more second maybe for the decision taking. And here the Polish really played it well, having this nice give and go, winning so many meters, reaching almost the end zone, but stopping right on time to take this breath and not rush 1 more pass that was just too much. And they really kept that patience and got the goal straight away after that, but still just waited for the right option.
So potentially the final point of this matchup. So we see indeed on that far sideline, just behind the Polish players in our camera view, that is also potentially a finish of a Universe point 1, and we can bring you that live one. We just saw Sarah Jekland, whose knee must be feeling quite weird today. She had a big old hematoma yesterday. Just clutched that goal. So, in front of us, can the Dutch do the same and finish it off in this point? Kalorts trying to connect with the stumbling bus, but coming through Janne Jansen. Oh, has a good look at that inside flick. But the Polish marks are wise to it. They are flattened off to try and stop those. Minard, good the give go. Kalorts was available, and then is it going to be a give go for the front corner? No. Just shy. Anna Minard working hard in the end zone, but the block is generated. Great pick off by Jasiak.
Poland willing to counterattack pretty quickly, but apparently half of the team was still catching their breath.
Oh, that's an ambitious reach over the top for Franka Tenkate. Gets a bit too much collateral.
That's a fancy jump, trying to avoid the contact, but obviously there was some hard to jump over everyone without touching a single body.
Well, some perspective from Paula Bus being added in, saying they thought that Tenkate reached over a little bit too much. Couldn't avoid the momentum of the player that had already held the space going up that line. So Polish possession will continue. Oh, but there is the drop, unfortunately. Popek giving the disc back to the Dutch, but that one, surely that's going to work out. No, it doesn't. Again, the wind that's so low at the moment, still causing issues.
I don't know if it's the wind or, again, this rushing we've seen during the whole game. But apparently they are not how would you say, not willing to finish that quickly.
They want to give us every moment they possibly can for this live stream.
And yeah, you have a live stream game, just stay as long as you can.
Well, they've got 14 minutes and change left on the regulation time clock if they wanted to keep this game going. But that one is going to be overshot, but coming in from the back space to make the recovery.
Ooh.
Janne Jansen pops to Minard, who immediately calls a timeout. And I can understand why this turning into another grindy point here on the showcase field. So as the athletes out there take a break, we will too. Do not go anywhere. The final points of this game will conclude here at the European Championships.
Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down.
Lovely grab out.
Match point situation. The second match point for the Netherlands women. A timeout being taken by Anna Minard on the far sideline after a couple of turnovers so far in this point. The Polish women determined to get another on the tally.
So let's see if they got to focus, find a good plan to finish off this game with this last point Netherlands need.
So Minard with the disc will tap us back in. Everyone's set. 3, 2, one winning. We're now immediately finding Boss. They've been relatively conservative. Oh, I say that. Nice scuba. Lands directly into the perfect pocket for Maynard. Collards. Fakes the hammer, throws the scuba. This is more like the Dutch side we're used to seeing. These upside down throws. Maynard dishing around, back to Janssen. Boss. You can see the hands of the marks having to go up and high. Oh, what a find. And Franka Tenkat will finish it off for us. 15-9, the final score here. The Netherlands ascending over Poland.
What a finisher. Big throw to the break side. Nice look. A lot of upsides as we love them from the Dutch players. Finding all throws, all options needed to finally get that last point. Amazing. 15-9, Netherlands to Poland. Netherlands taking the win on this stream game.
Indeed, of course, here in Pool H, that will be a much needed win for the Dutch side, having taken the universe point loss already to Switzerland here in Pool H. The Poland side also yet to get a win on the board. That will be 2 losses for them. So Anna there on your screen, the number 5, got 5 assists for this game. Someone we're used to seeing. But also stats leader for the Dutch women so far. Well, I'm not sure about her stats for the championship, but certainly this game with 4 goals, 2 assists and 1 block. Justine van der Meulen, the number 34, who we have sauntering over to our booth for a bit of a sideline interview. But a commendable performance from the Polish women. Of course, they did take the first 2 breaks in this game in the midsection of the first half, but what a response. We had the break chances converted well by the Polish, but there weren't that many that were looked at from the Netherlands. But we have in the booth alongside us Justine van der Meulen. Lovely to have you with us. How are you feeling? Because you were all over that game.
Well, thank you. I feel really good, actually. I feel like we really stepped it up after we were down 2 points, I think. And yeah, we talked to the team and I'm very proud of everyone that we really managed to keep that energy up throughout the whole game. Yesterday we struggled a little bit with that against Switzerland. It was more of an up and down game that we lost by 1 point, which isn't very beneficial for our that we took the 1 loss with us in this pool. But this game was really, really good. Yeah.
So talk to us actually about what happened in that timeout circle, because that was sort of seemed to be the change point for you.
Which one?
when you had the timeout after you had those 2 breaks of score against you, you took a timeout and you then came out sort of all guns blazing and went on that absolutely insane 7-point lead.
Yeah,
7-point charge.
When you say it like that, I didn't even notice he was that big. I think our coach Chris Lee, he just talked to us about how we should step up the defense and what we should do with that, and that's really helped. Like being very tight and playing the person defense that we did, like the forcing flick, etc. And I think we really managed to keep that up throughout the game.
So, do you have any questions, Charlotte? Well, then I'll bounce it, because you said of your sporting hero that the speed skater, you really admire her mentality, how she's very honest about how she's feeling. So what have the emotions been like for you sort of in this championship so far?
Well, I'm one of the captains and I feel very responsible for the whole team, also how everyone is feeling and if they're enjoying themselves, but also of course the results of the game. And yesterday when we lost, we talked with the team, of course, and some people were feeling very frustrated immediately because they already drew the conclusion that this wasn't very beneficial for us, and others were just kind of happy with how they played, and I always try to really get the team together afterwards, like give some space for the emotions, and then we get back together. So when we were back in the apartments, had some dinner, we just talked about it, and I think, yeah, I always try to be honest about my feelings as well. So if I feel like I have to cry, I cry, and if I'm happy, I'm happy, and then people feel free to do that as well.
Well, we're very happy that you've got the happy Justine in our booth with us
Yes,
after that
me
lovely,
too.
lovely win under the sunshine. So talk to us a little about how your play style, because with 2 assists and 4 goals, how are you so dynamic, especially in the end zone?
Yeah, I just really like the dominator style play. It's actually, I always was a cutter, but then for this tournament, and of course with my club team already, I became more of a handler, but I'm not the one throwing the deep shots usually. I just run a lot, and I tend to have a feeling where that is where the best places are to get open. And then I think I'm quite quick, so that also helps, also in the turning. And then, yeah, I think that really helps the team. And sometimes in the end zone, I just feel like, yeah, let's go. And I don't really give up that easily. And one thing I also always do is thinking, this disc is mine when I run to it, and then usually I catch it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's they say, manifest. You got to manifest it with that mentality of this is my Frisbee.
Yes, exactly.
So, final question. You've been playing since 2015 for the Dutch ladies national team. How does this championship stack up so far across, of course, your 8-year playing history at the international level?
Yes, yeah, and before that I also played mixed and beach, or like I play beach a lot. But this women's team is much better, I think, and stronger than we had in the past, because of all the Grut girls now also playing with us, and just a general higher level than we had. More people to choose from, I think. So that is, yeah, really, really exciting, and I'm very happy that I get to play with all of these girls, even though I'm the oldest of the team. I feel like I still can play quite well with them.
Well, it's okay because you've not peaked, because you've not reached your jersey number yet. So that's got to be the peak here, isn't it?
Well,
so
that will be in 1 month, so we'll see.
Well, it's always a delight to watch you out there on the fields, Justine. Thank you so much for coming into our booth. We'll let you go back and celebrate your win with your team, but good luck for the rest of the games.
Thank you, and thanks for your work as well.
Our pleasure. Justine van der Meulen there will rejoin her fellow Dutch women after a fantastic performance. Been playing for 12 years over in Utrecht. So Charlotte, final thoughts of this matchup between the Dutch and the Polish women?
Really happy of what we've seen on the Dutch side, of their comeback, of their mental strength and intensity on the pitch for these 7 goals in a row. Amazing. A little bit deceived, and I guess there are as well about the Polish, which I think could do so much more. They showed us amazing ultimate, and I'm sure that the mental was lacking here, and that they could do such a great work on the pitch.
Absolutely. So players to highlight for the Polish side. I mean, my first choice would definitely be Anja Schloss, who just, the number 2, was almost picture perfect the whole game. She really was impactful. Certainly her stats line tells a story. 1 goal and 2 assists of the 9 total that the Polish managed to score. Does anyone else stand up for us?
I really liked, I have to say, the Johanna Depowska, who did an amazing job. Like, she has only 2 goals, but still, I mean, the work, the intensity again, how she attacked every disc, how she moved around, how all these floaty throws, not easy to read, not easy to get with the defender in front of her. She would attack and throw herself everywhere just to get this disc, and I really liked her intensity, her energy.
Absolutely. So the stats leader for the game, also the number 97, Sara Doroba, with 3 assists and 1 goal. But there were a couple of big throwing powerhouses as well. We could name so many athletes for both teams here. But we will wrap up our coverage. Do not go anywhere, folks, though. We will be bouncing straight into the open division next here on our showcase fields. But as we see the highlights of this women's game, we see, of course, the Dutch ascending. So the layout there, 15-9 over the Polish.
Too much for my hobby, so I'm laying low. Yes, I could rethink what I'm thinking if I had control, but I don't. So don't you be asking why I love you so. Your love ain't free, it's killing me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.
What we can